Guys, come to the front seat, please. Fill the front rows. Fill the front rows. If you can join this side, that'd be great. Or the middle one, okay? Thank you. Hey, everyone, please fill the front rows first before you sit in the back. Thank you. It's not lunchtime yet. The faster you seat, the faster we'll serve you. Guys, come to the front. Come to the front, please. Fill the front seats. Fill the front seats. Guys on the left, ladies on the left. Guys on the right, ladies on the left. Let's stop rushing. Sit down. Thank you. Please come to the front seat. Fill the front rows first. Ladies on the left, guys on the right. Ladies on the left, guys on the right. Sorry, your right, my left. Please grab your seats. Please grab your seats. Guys on the left side, ladies on the right side. Guys on this side, ladies on this side. If you hear me clap once, if you hear me clap twice, if you hear me clap 3 times, that's 6. If you hear me clap 6 times, please grab your seats. If you hear me clap once, if you hear me clap twice, if you hear me clap 3 times, thank you. All right, how was your session? How was your session? Are you guys hungry? How hungry are you? If you hear me, guys, ladies. May we hear the hymns to the angels? May we hear the hymns to the angels? زمار معك معنا. So middle school, who is your representative? Zuzu, please give up everyone for Zuzu. Come here. All right, everyone, give him your attention, please. If you hear me clap once, if you hear me clap twice, if you hear me clap 3 times. Okay.
Hi, my name is Zuzu. I go to Salasa. I live in Virginia. Oh, my class. my class did some work, and I'll be sharing it to you today. Question 1. What does Jesus mean when he say, "For without me, you can do nothing"? Jesus means to say that without him, everyone else is going to do the wrong path. They are being misguided. What happens when a branch is not connected to the vine? How does similar to the relationship to Jesus? Uh, if the branch is not connected to the vine, your faith is getting weaker, and it's similar like the faith to God. Question 3. What is specific way you can prioritize your connection on with God this week? Sleeping on the floor like the monks so you could better our relation with God and have a better faith.
Everyone, give up for Zuzu again, middle school. It is not easy to come here and speak, but he did it. Let's give him a third time. All right. The next speaker from the high school kids, the first group, Diakon Stefanos and Diakon Natu. From the class, who's your speaker? Come to the front.
Salam. Before I start, I want to say Bismillah. Bismillah, word Qudus Aharam la kamin. Bismillah, word Qudus Aharam la kamin. Bismillah, word Qudus Aharam la kamin. Okay. My name is Nevai. I'm in group 1 for the high schoolers, and we discussed a lot of things. To start us off, I wanted to reiterate the verse, and that is, I am the vine, you are the branches. He who abides in me and I in him bears much fruit, for without me you can do nothing. So essentially, what he's saying is God is what powers our existence, and through God, we grow as a branch. And as a branch, we have a purpose. We don't just exist. We have our duty to bear fruit. And bearing fruit is to help others and ourselves grow as orthodoxy to, get closer to God. But in 2024, and being a high schooler or any orthodox, we all know that it's quite a challenge to bear fruit or grow at all. So as we stay from God, our connection to the vine is loosened, and we start doing things we stop doing things that we need to do, like fasting, praying, taking communion, and a lot of things that we need to grow stronger to God. I wanted to kind of modernize the quote, and is, does a lamp still work if it wasn't connected to an outlet? No. So God is the outlet and we are the lamp. Without him, we cannot, operate. So, yeah, sorry. We need God's will to operate, and dang, sorry. Continuing from that, yeah, we just need God's will. We need to stay connected, and we need to take action to grow closer to God and connect ourselves through the outlet and get a stronger connection to the vine. Yeah, that's it.
May we hear the word of God? May we hear the word of God? Thank you, our brother Nabai. Now the second group, the speaker, the second group.
So I want to start off with mom. So I want to start off by saying the verse from John 15, verse 5. I'm the vine, your branches, who upbuilds me, and I'm in him bear much fruit. For without me, you can do nothing. So this verse is really key to our relationship with God, because if we can't bear fruit without connection with God, and for and without that, we can't like show our relationship with God. And especially right now in like this recent years, the Orthodox is hard to express our connection and help other people connect to God. And this is another terminology that is used, like if a fish can't operate without water or being living in an ocean, so we can't operate with God. And if without our connection, our branch will fall and we can't bear fruit, and other people can't bear the fruit if they are not connected with God. And that's it.
May we hear the word of life? May we hear the word of life? Thank you, Brother Joseph. From group 3, who is the representative?
Hi everyone. Let's start with Basma. Okay, so to summarize what we learned in group 3, in our group we discussed that it's important to strengthen your faith by bearing fruit, such as prayer, fasting, and going to church, so that you could spread the gospel and help others. That's it.
May we hear the word of life? May we hear the word of life? Thank you, our sister Bimnet. Annette, sorry. Group 4, who's the speaker for group 4?
So in our group, we first talked about King David. How King David he was a king. He had a lot of things to do, obviously, and with everything that he had and everything that he was busy with, he still had time to pray to God. He prayed 7 days every day. I mean, 7 times every day. And so, with him being the king and having all those busy work to do, if he's praying 7 times a day, we can't have any excuses of being busy. Another thing is what should we do to stay close to God, right? The first thing I talked about, praying 7 times a day. Prioritizing and focus on daily prayers. Having time, maybe in your house, having a spot where like you can pray and just have alone time with God, and just 5 minutes is enough. Like to having basically in a day we have 24 hours. Give 10% of that to God, which is 2 hours. And it's not only just praying, just doing stuff that's associated with being with Christ. Just going to church, that 2 hours is already good enough. Another thing is not worrying about other people's opinions. Maybe you're at school and you're praying at lunch. You should not be shy about doing the sign of the cross or being shy about praying around your friends. You should be able to tell them that you are a Christian, and you should be able to do it proudly and be who you are. Another thing we talked about is 1 Timothy 4:12. It states that don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for the believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. This is basically telling you that age should not matter of what you do. An example could be Kudus Ergos. He followed his faith even when he was 3 years old. That's a toddler. So you should be able to, be who, do the same.
We also discussed how like there are some feelings that you might face when you feel
distant from God. And some of these feelings are hopelessness, feeling lost, separation from God, incomplete, and you might even like have some temptation from the devil because that's the time like you're most vulnerable. And that's like shows how important it is to have God in your life because he's like a moral compass for you. And an example of that was like how fish need water to survive. All of us need God to survive in our lives. And these are like some questions that you should ask yourself to make sure God is like truly in your life. Maybe just like ask yourself if God, like if you feed the poor, clothe those who need it, like cure the sick, or console and the people that are mourning, or go visit the people in jail or in situations, in bad situations. And just also be aware of like the people you surround yourselves um, and the activities you might be doing. Like put your phone down sometimes and like interact with like your family or just with God. And time is short, so you'll never know when it's like it will end. So just spend it wisely, and then don't like let other people judge your religion, and just be proud of you who you are in your faith.
May we hear the word of life. May we hear the word of life. May we hear the word of life. Thank you, sisters. We did the last group from high school? The last group, right? So now we go to post-college. Sorry, college.
Islam, forward, Kudus, Madamla, Amen. Um, so in our group today, the theme of the conference was John 15, verse 5, where it says, I am the vine, you are the branches. I think we read it earlier. But we also further discussed what bearing fruit means, and that means different to all of us because we are in different stages of our lives. To some, it can mean obedience to Jesus' commands. To some, it can mean witnessing to the world. Um, and so we talked about how can we be that branch that doesn't fall off. Um, and also with college comes a lot of temptations that guide us away from God, things like partying, drinking, and such. And so we talked about how to stay away from things like that. And there's a couple verses here we talked about. For example, Corinthians chapter 6, verse 12 says, everything is permissible for me, but not everything is beneficial. Everything is permissible for me, but I will not be mastered by anything. God gave us freedom and free will, and with that also comes bad choices because we have plenty of options. But in this verse, he does make it clear that not everything leads to him, and it's up to us to uh, be precise with our decisions. Another verse was Matthew chapter 6, verse 33, where he says, do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good morals. This doesn't just apply to us college students, but I'm sure this applies to middle school, high school, where we're constantly exposed to people that do not lead us closer to God. And so, like this verse says, bad company corrupts good morals. And then just a couple other topics we talked about. How can we further integrate God with our schoolwork? How can we further our dependence on him during college? And for that last question on how we can further our dependence on him, we hit it. I think we really hit it on the nail when we talked about how understanding everything begins with him. That puts it into perspective on how much we need him. And so that was kind of everything we talked about in our group.
May we hear the word of life. May we hear the word of life. May we hear the word of life. Thank you, our brother. Now, there's only one left. Post-college.
Basma, Orad, one was Kudus, Adam Lak. Amin. So we talked a lot today regarding John chapter 15, verses 5, about the vine and the branches and how we should abide in him. We also talk about the fruit of the Spirit, and each one of us had different fruits that we liked that we wanted to have in our life, like love, patience, kindness, and there were many others that we also talked about. We had goals that we all were trying to talk about as well, striving to grow in our spiritual lives, making like attempts and not giving up, especially talked about how trials, fatana will come, but staying strong in our faith. And above all, like we really felt the Spirit working through all of us. It was a really beautiful discussion, and may God bless the ministry.
May we hear the word of God. May we hear the word of God. Ali wa tasma'ana. Are you guys hungry? How hungry are you? 100%? You know it's still tzom, right? All right, let's all rise up for prayer.
በስመ አብ ወወልድ ወመንፈስ ቅዱስ አሐዱ አምላክ። በስመ አብ ወወልድ ወመንፈስ ቅዱስ አሐዱ አምላክ። በስመ አብ ወወልድ ወመንፈስ ቅዱስ አሐዱ አምላክ አሜን። ቅዱስ 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 ተባሂልካ ትመስገን ልዑለ ባህሪ እግዚአብሔር አምላኽና ነዛ ጉባኤና እዚኣ ባሪካን ቀዲስካን ስለ ዝሃብካና ነምስግነካ ኣለና። ኣምላከ ቅዱሳን እግዚአብሔር ካብዚ ዘለናዮ ብሰላምን ብጥዕናን ስለ ዘገባእኻና ቅዱስ ቃልካ ስለ ዘመሃርካና ዝማሬና እውን ስለ ዝተቐበልካና ነምስግነካ ኣለና። እማ ኣምላክ ወላዲት ኣምላክ ቅድስት ድንግል ማርያም ኣዴና ጽዮን ጣዕሚ ውዳሴኽን ኣብ ተቡረኸይን ይድርልና። ናይ ቅዱስ ሚካኤል ሊቀ መላእክት ፈጣር ረድኤት ኣይፈለየና። ናይ ኩሎም ቅዱሳን ጻድቃን ሰማዕታት በረኸት ረድኤቶም ኣይፈለየና። ጉባኤና ክትባርኸልና ጉባኤ ነቢያትን ሃዋርያትን ቅዱሳን ሊቃውንትን ዝባረካ ኣምላኽ ጉባኤና ክትባርኸልና ክትቅድሰና ነቲ ዝተምሃርናዮ በእምነትና ጸኒዕና ብምግባርና እውን ቀኒዕና ንኣኻን ነስምረሉ ንፍረን ንበረኸትን ንመንግስተ ሰማያት መውረሲ ንህይወት ክትገብረና ልምነካ ኣለና። ነዚ ተቐሪቡሉ ዘለዉ መዓዲ እውን ብህያው ስምካ ክትባርኸልና ክትቅድሰና መዓደ ሃዋርያትን መዓደ ባርሃም ዝባረካ ኣምላኽ መዓደና ክትባርኸልና ህያውን ቅዱስን ዝኾነ ስምካ ብስም ወላዲትካ ድማ ስም ከምዚ እንዳውና ንጽዋዕ ኣለና። ንበል አቡነ ዘበሰማያት አቡነ ዘበሰማያት ይትቀደስ ስምከ ትምጻእ መንግሥትከ ወይኩን ፈቃድከ በከመ በሰማይ ከማሁ በምድር ሲሳየነ ዘለለ ዕለትነ ሀበነ ዮም ንህድግ ለነ አበሳነ ወጌጋየነ ከመ ንሕነኒ ንህድግ ለዘአበሰ ለነ ኢታብአነ እግዚኦ ውስተ መንሱት አላ አድኅነነ ወባልሐነ እምኩሉ እኩይ እስመ ዚአከ ይእቲ መንግሥት ኃይል ወስብሐት ለዓለሙ ወለዓለመ ዓለም። በሰላመ ቅዱስ ገብርኤል መልአክ ኦ እግዝእትየ ማርያም ሰላም ለኪ ድንግል በህሊናኪ ወድንግል በስጋኪ እምእግዚአብሔር ጸባኦት ሰላም ለኪ ቡሩክት አንቲ እምአንስት ወቡሩክ ፍሬ ከርስኪ ተፈሥሒ ፍሥሕት ኦ ምልዕተ ጸጋ እግዚአብሔር ምስሌኪ ሰአሊ ወጸሊ ምህረተ በእንቲአነ አበ ፍቁር ወልድኪ ኢየሱስ ክርስቶስ ከመ ይስረይ ለነ ኃጣውኢነ ስብሐት ለአብ ወወልድ ወመንፈስ ቅዱስ ለዓለሙ ወለዓለመ ዓለም።
All right, remain in your seat until I call you. Abash. The priest will lead. The priest will lead the thing. All right. All right. Once the priest and the deacons get the food, and then we will start row by row. And all of you, once you get food, please go to this room right here. If you hear me clap once, if you hear me clap twice, if you hear me clap 5 times, Once you get food, you will go to this room right here, okay? You got it? Do you want to eat? Okay. No, wait. Ready? Ezra spoke of her. Ezra spoke of her. He spoke of her, and David sang of her. He spoke of her, and David sang of her.
He spoke of her, and David sang of her. He spoke of her, and David sang of her. Ezra spoke of her. Ezra spoke of her. He spoke of her, and David sang of her. He spoke of her, and David sang of her. He spoke of her, and David sang of her. He spoke of her, and David sang of her. Ezra spoke of her. Ezra spoke of her. He spoke of her, and David sang of her. He spoke of her, and David sang of her. He spoke of her, and David. He spoke of her. Ezra spoke of her. Ezra spoke of her. He spoke of her. He spoke of her. And David sang of her. He spoke of her. He spoke of her. And David sang of her. بارك ولازم تهبست بارك ولازم تهبست لازم تهبست لازم تهبست لازم تهبست لازم تهبست بارك لازم تهبس لازم تهبس لازم تهبس لازم تهبس بارك بارك لازم تتوعي بارك لازم تتوعي لازم تتوعي لازم تتوعي لازم تتوعي لازم تتوعي بارك لازم تتوعي لازم تتوعي لازم تتوعي لازم تتوعي بارك بارك لازم تهبس بارك لازم تهبس لازم تهبس لازم تهبس لازم تهبس لازم تهبس بارك لازم تهبس لازم تهبس لازم تهبس لازم تهبس بارك أمان وأمان أمان وأمان أمان وأمان أمان وأمان ساموئيل تروفقل ساموئيل تروفقل ساموئيل تروفقل ساموئيل تروفقل ፈገል አማን በአማን አማን በአማን አማን በአማን ሳሙኤል ትሩ ፈገል ሳሙኤል ትሩ ፈገል ሳሙኤል ትሩ ፈገል ሳሙኤል ትሩ ፈገል አማን በአማን አማን በአማን አማን በአማን አማን በአማን ሳሙኤል ትሩ ፈገል ሳሙኤል ትሩ ፈገል ሳሙኤል ትሩ ፈገል ሳሙኤል ትሩ ፈገል
Ab cover gewoon kunnen.